Good morning everyone. So in the last class we had studied about the introduction of quadratic equations, and we had solved some problems related to how to check whether the given polynomial is a quadratic equation or not. So in today's class we will be solving some more examples about the how to represent the given situation in quadratic equation form. So the question is, a train travels a distance of 480 kilometers at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 8 kilometers per hour less, then it would have taken 3 more hours to cover the same distance. So we need to find the speed of the train. So since we need to find the speed of the train, let us assume the speed of the train to be x kilometers per hour. Let the speed of the train be equal to x kilometer per hour, and the total distance covered by the train is 480 kilometers. So total distance covered which is equals to 480 kilometers. So first we shall find what is the time taken by the train to cover a distance of 480 kilometers at x kilometer per hour speed. So how do we find out that? So we will use the basic speed formula, that is speed is nothing but distance divided by time. Speed is nothing but distance divided by time. So we need to find the time taken. So we will cross multiply time with speed. So this implies time is equals to distance divided by speed. Distance divided by speed. Now time is equals to, so the total distance covered is 480 kilometers. So we will write it as 480 kilometers divided by the speed is x kilometer per hour. So the time taken will be 480 by x hours. Since the unit of speed is mentioned in kilometers per hour, the time taken will be 480 by x hours. So when the train is traveling at a speed of x kilometers per hour, covering a distance of 480 kilometers, the time taken will be 480 by x hours. So now let us see the second condition of the question. So if the speed had been 8 kilometers per hour less, so we have taken the speed of the train as x kilometer. So if the speed of the train had been dropped by 8 kilometers, that is x minus 8. If the speed of the train was x minus 8 kilometers per hour, then it would have taken 3 more hours to cover the same distance. So now let us write the second condition. According to second condition, the speed of the train will be 8 kilometers per hour less. The speed of train will be equals to x minus 8 kilometers per hour. Why we have taken minus here? Because they have given in the problem that if the speed had been 8 kilometers per hour less, so we have taken the speed of the train as x minus 8 kilometers per hour. And what will be the time taken? That is, it will take 3 hours more than the regular timing. Okay, therefore the time taken will be 3 hours more. So this was 480 by x when it was traveling normally. So when it is x minus 8 kilometers per hour less, it will take plus 3 hours more. So this was normal timing, and this was when the train was traveling at x minus 8 kilometers per hour less. So this was x 480 by x plus 3 hours. So it will take 480 by x plus 3 hours. Now again we will be using the formula, that is speed is equals to distance by time. Okay, now I will write an equation for distance. Okay, distance is equals to, we will cross multiply, that is speed into time. Speed into time. So why did I write only for distance? Why not for time? Why not for speed? So these questions will be answered now. So distance is what we know exactly, that is the total distance covered is 480 kilometers. We definitely know the train has covered 480 kilometers, and that is why if in any question, if we are given a definite quantity, we will write an equation for the definite quantity. So we will write distance is equals to speed into time. So distance we know that it is 480 kilometers, and speed we have already calculated, that is x minus 8 kilometers. X minus 8 into the time is 480 by x plus 3 hours. Now all is left with us is simplification. 480 is equals to x minus 8 as it is. So if we take LCM, x into 1, 3 into x. So in the numerator we will be having 480 plus 3x. Clear? Now just cross multiply x to the LHS. So it becomes 480x is equals to x minus 8 into bracket 480 plus 3x. So why did I just cross multiply this? So that the simplification becomes easier. So we will be having two brackets and you will be able to easily multiply. So just multiply now. 480x as it is, x into 480 is 480x. So x into plus 3x is plus 3x square. So you know the multiplication, right? So x into first term and x into the second term. Now minus 8 into this term and minus 8 into the next. So x into 480 is 480x, x into plus 3x is 3x square. Next minus 8 into minus 480 is minus 3840, and minus into plus is minus 8 into 3x is 24x. So 480x is equals to 480x plus 3x square minus 3840 minus 24x. So now bring this 480x to the RHS. So we will be remaining with 0 on the LHS, that is 480x, this one, so this is plus 480x. You will be, after transferring it to the RHS, you will be getting it as minus 480x, and this as it is plus 480x plus 3x square minus 3840 minus 24x as it is. Now minus 480x plus 480x gets cancelled, so we will be remaining with 3x square minus 3840 minus 24x. So now we shall arrange it according to the descending order of the variables, that is 3x square minus 24x minus 3840 is equals to 0. So since all these three coefficients are multiples of 3, so we will divide it by 3. Dividing throughout by 3. Dividing throughout by 3. So dividing throughout by 3. So we will be getting x square minus 8x minus 1280 equals to 0. So this is how you represented the given situation in quadratic equation form. Okay, just see once again I will explain. First we took, let the speed of the train be equal to x kilometers per hour, then the total distance covered which is given, which is 480 kilometers. So speed is, the formula we used is speed is equals to distance by time. We found what was the time taken by the train to travel 480 kilometers at a speed of x kilometer per hour. It comes out to be 480 by x hours. And according to the second condition, if the speed of the train was reduced by 8 kilometers, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. So we found out what will be the time taken, and after that we applied the same basic formula, that is speed is equals to distance by time, and we just cross multiplied speed into time, which is equals to distance. So distance is 480, and write down what were the speed, that is x minus 8, and time is 480 by x plus 3, and just we have simplified and brought it to the quadratic equation form. So the question was only to represent the given equation in quadratic equation form. So we will be finding the speed of the train in the solutions of the quadratic equation topic. Okay, so now we will be studying about the solution of quadratic equation. So the solution of quadratic equation, it is the same definition as of the solution of linear equation, or else the solution of zeros of polynomial. So zeros of polynomial is nothing but those values of the variable which satisfies the given polynomial. So in that case it was polynomial. In here we will be using the term as equation. So solution of quadratic equation is nothing but those values of variables, which satisfy the given quadratic equation. So those values of the variables which satisfies the given quadratic equation are known as solution of the given quadratic equation. Suppose we are given with the equation ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, which is the standard form of the quadratic equation, and if x is equals to alpha satisfies this particular equation, that is a alpha square plus b alpha plus c is equals to 0. If a alpha square plus b alpha plus c equals to 0, then we say that x is equals to alpha is a solution of the given quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c. So this was about the solution of quadratic equation. So these solutions can also be called as roots of quadratic equation. So what do you mean by roots of quadratic equation? It is nothing but the solution of quadratic equation, that is those values of the variables which satisfies the given quadratic equation are said to be the roots of the quadratic equation. So in the chapter polynomials we use zeros of the polynomials are nothing but those values of the variable which satisfies the polynomial. In this case we will be using the term as roots of the given quadratic equation. So the solution or nothing but the roots of quadratic equation is nothing but those values of the variables which satisfies the given quadratic equation. Such values are known to be the roots of the given quadratic equation. So you already know that how to find the roots of the quadratic equation, that is first one is by trial and error method. So we have to keep on substituting some values of x so that the whole given quadratic equation is satisfied. So this one is the trial and error method, and the second method we have learnt in previous 9th class is factorization method. Factorization method is nothing but splitting the given quadratic equation into two factors, that is two linear factors. And in this class, in 10th class, we will be studying an extra method, that is complete square method. And also you will be studying the Sridhara's quadratic formula method. So there are totally 4 ways to find the solution of quadratic equation. That is, first one is the trial and error method. So that is, for a given quadratic equation you have to keep on substituting the values of x like 1, 2, minus 1, 3 and so on until you get the solution. That is, that value of particular value of x must satisfies the given equation. That is known as the trial and error method. And the second one is factorization method. The factorization method is nothing but splitting up the quadratic equation into two linear factors. So suppose you are given a polynomial x square minus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. You will first multiply the first and last terms So you got the term as 6. So you will find the two terms randomly. So if you multiply those two terms, x and y, if you multiply those two terms, you should get 6, and if you add or subtract, you should get -5. This was how you find the solution by using factorization method. And complete square method is a totally new method, so you will be studying in the later classes. And Sridhar's quadratic method is the most efficient way of solving a quadratic equation. So Sridhar's quadratic formula is usually used when we don't get x and y values during factorization method. So it is unable to find the values of x and y, then we go to the Sridhar's quadratic method. So in today's class we will be discussing only about the factorization method. So we have studied in the 9th class, so we will be again studying that factorization method and then move on to the next methods. So now we will be studying about the factorization method. So factorization method is nothing but splitting up a quadratic equation into two linear factors and equating those two linear factors to 0 so that we can get the values of the variables. So you are already familiar with the factorization method that I only told you in the polynomials chapter that you studied in your 9th class. So we shall proceed now to the problems. Okay, find the roots of the quadratic equation by factorization. So the given problem is x square minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. First write down whatever they have given. Given is equals to x square minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. So write down what is the standard form of the given quadratic equation. So standard form is nothing but ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So on comparing, you will get the coefficients of a, b and c. So a is equals to 1, b is equals to -3 and c is equals to -10. So this was on comparing. On comparing, we got the coefficients of a, b and c. So the next step what you will do is a into c. So you have to multiply a and c values. So 1 into -10, which is nothing but -10. So now we have to find two random numbers, so that if you multiply those two numbers, you should get answer as -10, and if you add or subtract, you should get the value of b, which is equals to -3. So which are those two numbers? -5 and 2. So just multiply. -5 into 2 is -10 and -5 plus 2 is nothing but -3. So now we shall split the middle term. X square minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. This is what was given. So now we shall split this 3x as minus 5x and plus 2x. X square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 equals to 0. So now taking x as common in the first two terms, we will be remaining with x minus 5 and taking plus 2 as common in the next two terms. So we will be remaining in the bracket as x minus 5 equals to 0. So now we will be having x minus 5 and x minus 5 as common. So we will be remaining with x plus 2. So therefore we will now equate these two linear factors. So these are linear factors. The definition was splitting the quadratic equation into two linear factors and equating those two linear factors to 0. Now we have splitted it into two linear factors. X minus 5 and x plus 2 are two linear factors. So now we shall equate them to 0. Either x minus 5 equals to 0 or else x plus 2 equals to 0. So this implies x is equals to plus 5 or x is equals to minus 2. Hence x is equals to plus 5 and x is equals to minus 2 are the roots of the given quadratic equation. So this is how you find the roots of the given quadratic equation by factorization method. So now we shall solve some more problems on factorization. So now we will be solving another example, that is find two consecutive positive integers, sum of whose square is 365. So in the last class I had told you about consecutive numbers. That is, consecutive numbers are nothing but the successive numbers. That is, for example, the set of natural numbers 1, 2, 3 and so on. 1, the successor of 1 is 2 and the successor of 2 is 3. So such numbers are known as consecutive numbers. So now we have to find two consecutive positive integers such that the sum of whose squares is 365. So since we don't know what are those two consecutive integers, let us assume let x and x plus 1 be the two consecutive integers. So let x and x plus 1 be two consecutive integers. Now the second condition what they have given is sum of whose square is 365. So I have to write it according to the whatever they have given definition. Sum means plus, that is addition. Sum means addition. Sum of whose square. Sum of whose square means two consecutive terms square. So x square and x plus 1 square is equals to 365. So I hope this step is clear. That is sum of whose square is 365. Sum of whose square is 365. Now it is very quite simple. Now just you have to expand it using a plus b whole square formula. X square as it is. So this turns out to be x square plus 2x plus 1 is equals to 365. So now this implies x square, just add it, x square plus x square. So just I am removing the brackets. This one is equals to 365. So this implies 2x square plus 2x plus 1 is equals to 365. So x square plus x square is 2x square plus 2x plus 1 equal to 365. Now 2x square plus 2x as it is plus 1 as it is, we will shift this 365 to the LHS. That becomes minus 365 equals to 0. So this becomes 2x square plus 2x plus, so 1 minus 365 is nothing but 364, which is equals to 0. Clear? Now we have the quadratic equation, that is 2x square plus 2x minus 364. Now since all these three terms are multiples of 2, we will dividing it by 2. So it becomes x square plus x minus 182 equals to 0. So now this is of the form ax square plus bx plus c. Now you can easily factorize it using the method that I had previously discussed. So in today's class we studied about the solutions of quadratic equations. What do you mean by solutions? And also what are the different methods of solving the solution. That is, first one is trial and error method, trial and error. Second one is factorization. Third one is complete square method. And the fourth one is Sridhara's quadratic method. So these were the four methods we studied in this class. That is, we only discussed about the factorization method in this class. We will be discussing about the complete square and Sridhara's method in the next classes. So I hope all the problems that I solved here were clear. And so if you have any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you.